What are Sony and Microsoft waiting for? Gamescom news and the weekly gaming news recap and cookie review coming right up. Welcome back to Sodi Pop right here on YouTube. Today is Friday, August 28th. I'm Maddie, and this is the weekly gaming news recap and cookie review. As always, if you're looking for more in-depth information onto earlier stories, check out Chatty with Maddie every Monday and Wednesday. And then every story is timestamped down below if you're looking for anything in particular. All right, I have my drink. Let's chat. So to begin with, we're going to, of course, recap the earlier stories. Start off with DC over the weekend had a nice event, DC Fandom, and Warner Brothers showed off Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Very excited for that. The major story from that is that it will be a shooter game, kind of a third-person shooter. Now, it's not clear to me if this is some of the characters will be third-person shooter or this will be the entirety of the game, but it was revealed via Business Wire here. We also have IGN showing off some Gotham Knights. The main story from Gotham Knights is number one, it is coming from WB Montreal, and it will not be games as a service, so you'll be playing as all four Gotham Knights, and it'll be one big story instead of like keep on adding on as games as a service, such as Marvel Avengers is. We also have exclusive Lord of the Rings coming from Games Radar, but Gollum was revealed. Remember, this Lord of the Rings Gollum will be based off the books, not the movie that Peter Jackson did. So he might look a little different. Also, some of the enemies might look a little different since it is more based off the books and kind of a reimagining of what's going on. We also saw some news that Halo is having trouble, but mainly that Halo, when it's going to come out in 2021, it will not come out for the Xbox One. They have since refuted those rumors, Microsoft has, and Halo will be coming out as originally planned for the Xbox One, PC, Xbox Series X, and the rumored Series S. Also, here we have Nintendo Switch, a big rumor that they will be having a new Nintendo Switch in 2021. The big question mark is, will this be a brand new Nintendo Switch Pro, so an upgrade to the current one, or a Nintendo Switch 2, a next generation? My bet is on the Pro, since when the filing was listed or when the leak happened, they talked about a new screen and updated processor, not necessarily next gen type of stuff. And Call of Duty upgrade, yes, it is a little complicated. We saw a release of a Call of Duty trailer or two this past week, and we saw that for the physical version of the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, there is an upgrade path available. It would be $70 and get both versions, but for the physical version of the Xbox Series X to the Xbox One, that is not the case. It doesn't exist, but there apparently is a digital upgrade path as well. And Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct Mini. I did cover that in an earlier Chatty with Maddie, quickly recapping some of the more exciting stuff. Again, it's a very brisk 12-minute watch. Some cool stuff coming, especially some nice rhythm games as well. Now going into the news for this Thursday and Friday, one of the big things I wanted to discuss was why Microsoft and Sony are waiting on their prices. Now, this is via VGC 24/7 or VG 24/7, but we have seen other people say that Microsoft and Sony are waiting for each other to reveal the prices. More importantly, Microsoft does want to undercut Sony this time, which Sony, again, it is the lead platform and it seems to have a leg up when it comes to exclusive games and just the overall hype for the PlayStation 5. If you look at overall like Reddit numbers, they are quite a bit more than what the Series X Reddit is sitting at right now. So that could be one reason, and probably is a reason they're waiting for each other to reveal prices. I think more importantly, Microsoft and Sony are waiting for the stimulus package. Yes, of course, we have the virus going on. A lot of people are in peril as far as their finances are concerned. A lot of jobs, especially in the United States, are missing and have not been replaced quite yet, and it might be quite a bit longer till we actually see a recovery, namely until maybe the virus really goes away. So one thing I am speculating, and I would not be surprised if this is the reason, Congress in the United States has been debating a package. The Democrats, I think in May, came out with their own package that's $3 trillion. The Republicans rebutted last month with a different package, and they've been debating as to what should be the stimulus. Number one is how much should people get in extra unemployment? And number two, and I think the most important actually, is that stimulus check. In March or May, I believe it was, the United States, everyone making under $75,000 got a $1,200 stimulus check. Why is that important to Microsoft and Sony? Well, I'm going to show number one, what people did with those stimulus checks, and I want to be fair. So I got two articles coming from MarketWatch. One of them talks about what people did eventually with their stimulus check, and then we're going to talk about when people did spend it on frivolous things, what did they spend it on? So number one, what did they overall do? This is coming out in August. What do the numbers say? People who spent the most of their stimulus checks account for just 15% of the US households, compared to a third of Americans who saved their stimulus checks, and more than half used it to pay down debt. So pretty smart, financially speaking, for the most part. That's according to research conducted by three economists circulated by the National Bureau of Economic Research this week. So most people saved it, about 15% spent it. What did they spend it on? And that's the important part. And 15% of the American people is still a good amount of population, especially when you're talking about a launch of a new console. So what did they spend it on? They spent it at Walmart. Target shoppers bought more TVs, electronics, gaming equipment, and apparel. Walmart also saw increased demand for adult-sized bikes. BJ CEO Lee Delaney told investors on Thursday that the company saw relatively significant growth in discretionary categories, including electronics and TVs. We would imagine that there is certainly an impact from stimulus checks that are impacting the business, Delaney said. But I think it is right to assume that there is some benefit flowing through the form of stimulus checks to the business. At Best Buy, consumers use their stimulus checks to buy computing and gaming equipment. Corey Berry, the company's CEO, said it on Thursday earnings call. Like many other retailers, we saw sales benefit during the last 3 weeks of the quarter as customers undoubtedly chose to spend some of their government stimulus money on products and services we provide, Berry said. So they are namely spending it on electronics, TVs, next-gen consoles. So we have seen this lull between when the stimulus checks happened many months ago and for anything else to happen. We've seen the economy go down, the GDP go down, and we've been waiting on this next announcement. Now they've been debating it for quite a while. My theory is Sony and Microsoft want to know the exact specifications of the next stimulus check before they announce the console. Because if you say, hey guys, you're going to get $1,200, here is the PS5, here is the Series X, it's $600. That's going to be a lot easier of a pill to swallow if you have an extra $1,200 in your banking account you weren't necessarily counting on. Now they could also say, oh, it's $1,200 only if you make less than 20 grand, or you only get $1,200 if you're unemployed, or it's $500, it's not $1,200. So I would not be surprised if that is what they're eventually waiting for. That is my theory. And when could we see this happen? Well, the earliest seems to be October that we actually receive checks. They're still debating in Congress. They were on recess, or they are on recess. They might get called back earlier to do a smaller package, but I don't believe they're back until September 9th or so. So don't expect anything concrete really before then. And then when it is signed, you might not actually receive any sort of checks until October. But I think once it is signed and agreed upon, Sony and Microsoft will say, okay, it's go time. We at least know the American public, not worldwide, but the American public will have this going forward, and we can launch at a $600 price point and not worry, instead of the $400 price point we would have when we're tightening our budget. So very curious to know, what are your thoughts on that? I think it might be dead on, but because it makes no sense that they're waiting this long to tell the price. I think last June or July, the last time consoles launched, was when we knew the price. All right, guys. Well, always, thank you so much. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about that theory down below. I'm very curious. I want to make a whole video on it by itself. Super interesting to me. With that said, we're going to move on to some more news stories this past Thursday and Friday and stuff going forward. So I'm going to go ahead and play this Dragon Age behind the scenes from BioWare. We saw this during opening night live Gamescom. Jeff Keighley hosted it. It was entertaining. it definitely wasn't blockbuster. I still think the PlayStation 5, the original reveal, is kind of the event to beat. It was nice and quick. We saw a lot of stuff and a lot of next gen stuff and a decent amount of gameplay. So I'm going to quickly cover what we saw, mostly the new stuff, because there were a lot of trailers, there were a lot of talking as well. So we saw a new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War trailer, which Reagan says, yeah, commit war crimes in the name of justice. Also, we saw more of Scarlet Nexus. We saw a bridge constructor game that The Walking Dead is featured on. We also saw Unknown 9 Awakening, which is from Reflector Studios. Just a trailer for that, but I researched a little bit more into it. Apparently it's based off a larger world of like books and stuff, so could be pretty interesting, some big lore in there. We also saw, of course, this teaser for Dragon Age 4. Now again, this is more like a dev diary. We got to see some images and stuff. Number one, it is very far off. Number two, it's definitely going to come after Dragon Age Inquisition, which is a game I love. They put like 120 hours into. It's actually my first review that I haven't posted at all because it's not representative of what this channel currently is. But yeah, it's going to come after that. Solus will come back, which of course you know who he is. I won't spoil it. But Solus will be back. And a quote from them, they say they want to tell a story of what happens when you don't have power, what happens when people in charge aren't willing to address the issue. Well, that was pretty much the last Dragon Age Inquisition. You're always yelling at the people in power to say, hey, this is going on, and they're trying to ignore it. That was also Dragon Age 2, from what I remember. Hawk yelling at people in power and them just kind of ignoring it. So, super excited for that. We also saw Doom Eternals, The Ancient Gods Part 1 DLC. So that looks interesting. That's coming out October 20th. Little Nightmares 2 looks excellent, coming out February 11th, 2021. It also was revealed after that it will have a free next-gen upgrade. So if you get it for PS4, free upgrade to the PS5. Pretty cool for Little Nightmares 2. The Sims Journey to Batuu will be an add-on Star Wars pack that is coming out for The Sims. 12 Minutes was revealed. We're going to watch a little bit of that. It has a huge cast, looks really fantastic. It was shown for the Xbox and the Xbox Series X, but I'm not sure. I think that will be coming to PS5 eventually and PS4. So Daisy Ridley is part of the cast, James McAvoy, and William Dafoe. So really great vocal cast for that. We also have Mafia Definitive Edition. We got to see a little bit more of the actual character gameplay and him agreeing to work for a particular mob boss. That looks really good, really good. Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga was shown. Looks like some cooler, more behind the back type battling. A little bit different from most of the Lego games, coming spring 2021. Fall Guys, the second season, is coming with more medieval skins. We also have Medal of Honor Above and Beyond, which would be for VR. And then they finished off with a Ratchet and Clank game. It was the same gameplay that we saw, but it was a full 11-minute uncut trailer. Looked really phenomenal. We're going to quickly jump into this 12 minutes here, which I thought that and Ratchet and Clank really stole the show for me. We didn't see a whole lot of like crazy new stuff, just more updates onto games we already know. Of course, Dragon Age is the first we've really seen or heard of it, which is exciting, but it seems so far off. This 12 minutes looks so fun. Essentially, you're playing the same 12 minutes. It looks like someone comes in and maybe hurts you or kidnaps you, and you keep on living in loop and loop, and it has a really cool voiceover from William Dafoe here as well. And of course, we have Daisy Ridley and James McAvoy as well. So go ahead and check this out, this whole trailer. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward so you can actually see some of the gameplay. But totally top down. Looks like it takes place entirely in this one apartment. You can or can't affect certain decisions, and it's supposed to be a thriller as well. So it seems like, yeah, this guy breaks in, he wants to harm you, kidnaps you, you know, one of them, you're sitting down crying, you're having dinner with your loved one, you're cuddling. This was one of the more cooler things I could see. And then we also have, I'm gonna skip past that. We also have Ratchet and Clank. So Ratchet and Clank looks fantastic. It really showcases the power of the SSD and the PS5. It was revealed to be launch window. They did not say the exact date. I'm going to go a little bit further into this article coming from Games Radar, and we're going to see exactly what Ratchet and Clank is. So from Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, the developer has eliminated loading screens completely, so prepare to be traveling through worlds via Dimensionator, but also portals within worlds from your new Rift Tether tool. Quote, what you don't get to see, of course, is that you also feel the Rift coming with the PS5 DualSense controller. Like the energy of the portal is sort of its own unique sensation. You get a sense of the distance of it because the haptics add so much sort of texture to the experience, adds game director Mike Daly. And the same goes for 3D spatial audio, because all of the new channels of feedback we have reinforce the notion that you are passing through this portal. Looks so amazing. A little bit further down, he also said the fact that we can layer haptics as a new channel of feedback over everything, all parts of core gameplay stand up, explains Daly. For example, the traversal, and you get this crazy extra layer of feedback when you attach to a ground rail or switch, or there's a huge car incoming. You get an extra layer of feedback when you swing for a swing shot. You can sort of feel his acceleration and the wind blowing past. It gives you the enhanced sense of velocity that you don't fully realize from just visuals and the audio. It enhances traversal, and it greatly enhances weapons and enhances UI, just all part of the feeling that a little bit better they have just before, just thanks to this new ever-present thing. So it sounds phenomenal, showcases the SSD, showcases the controller. I'm super excited for the controller. Again, it's not going to be life-changing, but if it's that much more immersive, it's one of those things when you attach a PS4 controller or maybe a Nintendo controller to a PC, play things on Steam, it doesn't rumble exactly the way it should rumble, and just something feels lacking. I'm curious as to when I use the DualSense, will I now be like, man, something's lacking when I don't use it? Super excited. Ratchet and Clank is like my #1 game, probably along with Spider-Man. I'm so happy it's coming out in the release window. So that finished off the games conference opening night live. Very cool, very excited for it. Also, again, stuff that we saw before. PlayStation put out a call to anyone who wants a PS5 who currently owns or is part of the PlayStation ecosystem. If you have a PSN name, sign up. So this is the website. I actually already completed it, so it's not popping up for me. But essentially what you do is register for an opportunity here to be one of the first to appear to the PS5. You input your PSN ID, and then if you are selected, they will email you before it's released to say, hey, say you want this, you say you do, and then you get to pre-order it. Pre-orders through Best Buy, Target, all those places will still be open per usual. This is just a further opportunity to get it that they're giving to just people that have already part of their ecosystem. How are they selecting people? I don't know. I have no clue. I'm guessing it's just a random lottery, but really do not know. But make sure to sign up if you are interested. Marvel's Avengers has paid battle pass for every superhero after launch, $10 for each character. This coming from Liam Quath for Push Square. Games as a service. Remember, we talked about the Batman game, the Knights of Gotham or Gotham Knights, not being games as a service. This is why it's important that it's not games as a service, because you get nickel and dime. They're adding characters and it's going to be $10 for each character. WTF, really, what the heck? So Crystal Dynamics has always promised that the superheroes added to Marvel Avengers after launch will always be free. But what it did tell us until now is that the cosmetic associations with those characters will have to be unlocked via purchasable battle pass. Titled Hero Titled Hero Challenge cards completing daily and weekly challenges will level it up and thus unlock new items to equip the associated superhero with. That's standard stuff for these sorts of progression paths, and this approach sounds fair considering you'll be earning credits through the base game's 6 superheroes. As part of a new blog post on the game's official website, it is stated that these 6 superheroes arriving in the base game will have all of their Hero Challenges cards unlocked straight away. Starting with Hawkeye, you will then need to purchase these cards separately for 1,000 credits. This currency can only be bought in the real world money, and $5 will net you 500 credits. That means a single Hero Challenge card works out to be exactly $10. To be clear, the character itself and the story gameplay and mechanics and locations associated with them will be free of charge, but if you want to customize that superhero with unlocks and decals, you will then need to start splashing out cash. 40 tiers will net you outfits, takedowns, nameplates, emotes, and more. The developer goes on to say that if you reach the maximum tier, you will eventually earn all of your credits back. So that's pretty hilarious. Here's my hope that you spend $10, like Rocket League, you spend $10, you play it enough, you essentially earn the next for the next game. Hopefully they don't make, to fill out the card, they don't make it so crazy that you can't earn the credits back, because sometimes the XP you need to earn to fill out these cards is so wild. It takes so many hours to earn those credits back. You might as well spend the $10. Again, it's just more wishy-washiness from the games as a service that I don't love. Just charge me an extra $10 for the game, give me the whole thing, please. Also, in further news, we see kind of a cool thing. Blair Witch and Nintendo Switch have a little back and forth. The Witch can be nice as well. Watch our Blair Witch Nintendo Switch launch trailer for the hidden code. Get an Animal Crossing New Horizons Blair Witch hoodie inspired by our own Gamescom 2019 dev hoodie. Pretty cool. So go ahead and check that out if you want that Blair Witch hoodie inside of the game. We also saw some cool stuff coming. So this is from Gear Nuke. Scarlet Nexus will run at 4K and 60 frames per second on Xbox Series X and PS5. This is amazing news for next gen, because what do we also see? Ratchet and Clank that we just talked about. Insomniac says that they have confirmed that there will be a 60 frames per second option. That sounds fantastic. And also already Spider-Man Miles Morales was announced 60 frames per second 4K. That all sounds fantastic. How exactly will they achieve 4K? Will it be checkerboarding or something similar to DLSS 2.0? Well, I don't know. It almost doesn't matter as long as it's of good quality. The current checkerboarding on the PS4 Pro may not be the best, but again, the PS5, the Series X will have way more power, so that might make the checkerboarding and stuff better, and I'm sure they're going to have a second generation of that. Amazing. 60 frames per second is big in action games. Alright, now on to Xbox Game Pass. So we're going to go down a little bit further here. This is coming from Bloomberg Business Week. They interviewed Sarah Bond, the vice president that oversees gamer relations here from Game Creators. They talked a lot about what Xbox Game Pass does, the kind of revenue it does. Really good article. Go ahead and check this out, but I want to read just an excerpt from it. Contrary to expectations, Bond says, monthly plans get customers to spend more. A Game Pass subscription leads to about 20% more playing time. Users sample a wider variety of genres, and they generate 20% more in sales, both in titles not included in the plan and extras such as DLC. Game Pass helped increase revenue for Xbox content and services by 65%, insane, in the most recent quarter. People make this assumption that if you have a subscription, you stop buying games, Bond says. The opposite is true. That sounds phenomenal. I mean, I have Game Pass on the PC. I've had a few issues. The Messenger for some reason won't launch, but all the other games, I have an Xbox controller, Xbox One X controller, and it feels so good. It is a very good experience. I've played New Super Lucky's Tale, which is fantastic, super fun, pretty easy, but super fun. Of course, Halo I've played. I've tried so many different games that I probably wouldn't have normally tried for a very low price, and it just gets you more into gaming, gets you more into the mood. That's awesome. I'm super excited to hear that. I hope more stuff comes out. I hope PlayStation really makes PS Now a really good experience. Nintendo should also come out with something, especially for their back catalog, that's a little more robust. But I'm super happy with what Game Pass has produced. Alright guys, well thank you so much. This has been Chatty with Maddie, or the weekly gaming news recap. We're going to jump into the cookie review right now, which is going to be exceptional. Little hint here, but if you are so kind, please like, comment, subscribe, really helps me out. Of course, at Sodi Pop Media on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram. If not, have a wonderful day. I'll see you later. Now into the cookie review. So today we have the Neopolitan JoJo's. If you're not familiar with Neopolitan ice cream, for example, it's always vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate, some combination. JoJo's are Trader Joe's version of Oreos. I would say the vanilla ones are fantastic. The chocolate ones taste a little bit off from Oreos in particular, but we're gonna go ahead and try these Neopolitan ones. I've never tried these before. Here's what they look like. I have a couple flipped upside down. You can see they're chocolate on one side. We have the other side being vanilla, and in the middle you have this nice strawberry frosting. All right, smell. Smells of strawberry. You can smell like that, kind of like fake strawberry. Pretty pungent. Oh, it's gonna be good. I hope it's good, but I feel like it is. All right, little density test, of course. Good density, a little hollow. They have a nice amount of cream filling. It's definitely not double stuffed Oreo, but it's kind of in between maybe regular Oreo and double stuffed. We'll taste the cream, because why not? Definitely strawberry. Not as much strawberry as I was expecting. Oh, there's like little strawberry crystals in there almost. Really good. I like that. Creamy and strawberry. Very happy with that. Let's give it a taste. I'm curious if you'll be able to taste chocolate and vanilla with the strawberry. If it all comes together. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm making sure not to bite out of the one that's missing the frosting. Ha! Remember the stupid ginger snap or the snickerdoodle cookie review? This is not that day. This is a different day. This is a different Friday. Different lifetime. I mean, my life starts today, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh. So, I want to say, you can distinctly taste the chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Of those flavors, the vanilla is definitely the weakest. Strawberry is the strongest, and the chocolate comes in kind of the back end. You know, maybe as you chew a little bit more. Of course, I mean, these types of cookies you just swallow with some milk or water. You rarely savor them, at least I do. But this is a review. You gotta savor it. A-list right here. I highly recommend these. If you're in the mood for some Oreo type cookies, whole box of these, $2.50, $3. Easy. Go for it. Really, really good. Not overwhelming in any one of the flavors. If you like strawberry flavor, definitely go for it. Really tasty. I will be eating these all weekend. There's plenty in the box left, fortunately. So I will have my girlfriend partake, I'm sure. Highly recommend. I think these are some of the best JoJo's available for sure. I've only tasted 3 flavors, the chocolate, the vanilla, and now the Neopolitan. Hopefully there's more flavors. I hope there's a pumpkin flavor. Ooh, October's coming up. All right, let's pray for a pumpkin flavor when October comes up. All right, guys, well, thank you so much. I'm going into the weekend with high hopes now that I've tasted this. Unlike last weekend, I had to get myself some other cookies, so have a wonderful, wonderful time. Remember, follow me on the 3Ts and IG, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram at Sodi Pop Media. Have a phenomenal weekend. Be yourself. And eat those cookies. Bye.